Cookin. I'm your hostess, Cindy Schumacher. On today's show, we'll be making zippy paprika chicken, smashed potatoes, apple cranberry walnut salad, and a pumpkin coffee cake. I want you to know as we start out, this is my 100th show with Country Cookin', so I tried to make something a little special today. The chicken is a dish that normally, like my son is not a huge chicken fan, but this is it's so flavorful and it's nice and tender, doesn't get dry, so I think you're really going to like it. I researched a lot to find a coffee cake, a pumpkin coffee cake that I was really happy with, so we're going to start with that. I have a 1/4 cup of butter that is softened. To that I'm going to cream 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Okay, I'm going to add 1 egg, a 1/2 cup of milk, and a cup of pumpkin puree. Now I searched the stores everywhere for pumpkin puree, and then lo and behold, I found out that if you see 100% pure on your label of pumpkin, that is 100% pure pumpkin. There's no spices, there's no flavorings. It's 100% pure pureed pumpkin, and that's what you want to use for this cake. So we've got a cup of that. We're going to combine our dry ingredients. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that I'm going to add 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. A tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. Whisk that together. Okay, now I'm going to put that in with the other ingredients, and we're going to mix it just until it's combined. You don't want to overmix this. Good. Okay. Then you want to spoon it into your pan. It calls for an 8x8 pan, but from my experience, it takes a lot longer to bake than the required time. It says to bake it for 50 to 60 minutes in an 8x8 because it's so solid and it's absolutely full. I'm using a 9x9, and so and then it takes right at about 50 minutes to bake with that, using that. Coffee cakes normally are a little flatter anyway. So but if you don't mind waiting for it to get done and want to do it in an 8x8, by all means do. I just have been baking this in a 9x9. lumps out of there. We're going to put a streusel on top so you won't notice it quite as much, but still we want it to be a little even. So I have a 1/4 cup of softened butter here. To that I'm going to stir in 3/4 cup of brown sugar again, a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, half teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and whisk those together. And here are my potatoes. I've got my potatoes boiling. Now, the recipe, when I found it, didn't call for any nuts in the streusel. I like nuts in my streusel, so that would be perfectly up to you. I've got a 1/2 cup of coarsely chopped pecans here. And I'm going to stir those in. Toss that on top. That's how it looks. I'm going to put it in the oven for about 50 minutes. You want to start watching it at about the 45-minute interval, and then stick a toothpick in to see how you're doing. Take a break, we'll clean up, we'll be right back.
That is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
Okay, we're going to start working on the chicken, and I'm going to mix up kind of a dry marinade for it. We have 2 tablespoons of paprika, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, and then 1 to 2 tablespoons of Southwest marinade mix. What I'm using is mesquite, since mesquite trees grow in like Texas. I figured that's probably a southern. The first time I tried this, I just used Montreal steak seasoning and it worked fine. So you can use whatever you have on hand too, just so it has a little bit of a Southwest tang to it. Just stir it up with a fork. In a Ziploc bag, I have 4 chicken breasts that I've pounded so they're not so thick. But 4 chicken breasts we're gonna toss in here. If you want to, you can also cut these in smaller pieces, especially when they're as big of chicken breasts as these are. I'll toss the marinade over the top. Zip it shut, and then I toss it around so everything gets covered. And then you want to let that set for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to go over to the salad. One thing I want to remind you again, if you want a copy of any of these recipes, if you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. If you do have internet, just go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net. You'll find the Country Cookin' Cow, and that's what you want to click on to find the recipes. You want about 6 cups of salad greens. When I was shopping in the store, all they had was iceberg lettuce, which is fine. Sometimes I like, the colors that a romaine or something else gives me, but anyway, so I've washed and torn this, and then I've kind of let it sit overnight in towels to make sure you get all the excess moisture off. So to this I'm going to toss in a 1/3 cup of dried cranberries, a 1/3 cup of feta cheese, and about a cup of coarsely chopped walnuts. Kind of a couple of big chunks there. And then last, I have a red delicious apple and a Granny Smith apple. So you've got the green and the red, and that's going to give you some color. It's going to add a little sweetness besides just the cranberries. But it's a nice fall salad. I'm going to toss it just a little here. So it looks like that. Seems like all the good stuff always sinks to the bottom. Just toss it again until you get it to look how you want it to look. Okay. I'm gonna get this in the refrigerator and clean up. We'll be right back. We'll make the dressing.
Valley is now offering updated digital TV packages and prices. Call Valley today at 437-2615.
I'll get started on the dressing. I'm using my little handy Pampered Chef dressing mixer that works so well. I'm going to start out with a cup of apple juice. To that I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Two tablespoons of honey. Grab another set of measuring spoons. We're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using canola oil. And that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. get this in the refrigerator and then start on the chicken. So here, I'm gonna start with a medium heat here, and with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. They're huge chicken breasts, and then when you pound them out so they're a little thinner, they're really look big. So this could feed quite a few people actually when the chicken breasts are that big. So we're gonna get those cooking. I'm gonna take a quick break and clean up. We'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna work on the smashed potatoes. I have 2 pounds of potatoes that I have peeled and boiled, and I've got 2 tablespoons of butter in here already that I had softened. I'm going to add a ½ teaspoon of pepper, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. This is another one of those things where you could actually leave the skins on if you wanted to do like a red skin smashed potato, but I pretty much have stuck straight with the recipe as I found it, and it's a good recipe, and it's one of those where you don't need gravy, you don't need to add anything other than what we've got here. I'm adding a 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and then we're just gonna work it all together. And smash it rather than whip it with a beater. So they'll be a little lumpy, they'll have more texture, but it's just something kind of different out of your normal mashed potatoes. If you want to add a little zip to it, you could stir in a little horseradish or something like that. And that's it. Easy as 1, 2, 3. We'll go over here and we're going to check the chicken to see how it's doing. They're such thick pieces that I'm having a little trouble getting them cooked through. You don't want them raw. Just a little more time. We'll just take a quick break. We'll be right back.
At Valley Telecommunications, we pride ourselves in providing the home team advantage. But what does that mean? It means going above and beyond to take care of our customers' needs by providing exceptional customer service, because helping you helps all of us. As a cooperative, each time you subscribe to our services, you are investing in our community, which allows all of us to build and benefit from the newest technologies. Make the switch today to Valley Telecommunications and experience the home team advantage.
We're going to remove the chicken, put it on a platter, And then we'll start making the sauce. Okay. To the drippings now, I'm going to add a fourth cup of water, 5 teaspoons of lemon juice. If you have fresh lemon juice, go ahead and use that. I'm just using the real lemon in the bottle. Two tablespoons of soy sauce. I always have to look at the bottle. One time I used Worcestershire instead of soy sauce. Because they both kind of are dark like that. So make sure you grab the right bottle. I'm going to cook this for just about 2 minutes. Turn it up a little bit, get it good and hot. And then to top it off, then I'm going to stir in a half cup of sour cream. So while this cooks, we're just about ready to roll. While this cooks down before I add that, I just want to remind you one last time, if you want a copy of any of these recipes, and you're going to love this chicken if you decide to try it. If you don't have internet, give the girls at Valley a call. If you do have internet, you go to the Valley homepage, www.valleytel.net. Click on the Country Cookin' Cow and you'll find the recipes there. We'll be right back.
That is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
I'm going to stir in the sour cream. It's a half cup. You know, it says to serve the sauce on the side, so, or you can pour it over as you're serving it. To jazz up the potatoes a little, I just snipped a little bit of fresh chives out of my herbs that I have, and sprinkled a little bit of paprika to give it some color. So, you know, I'm all about color. So, anyway, let's get dished up here. You can always add a dollop of Cool Whip if you want on your cake. gonna serve the dressing on the side. Like I said, if you think you're gonna use the bulk of your salad in one sitting, then go ahead and toss the dressing on the side. If not, then you're gonna wanna just let your guests drizzle a little over their own salad. There we go. We've got your zippy paprika chicken, your smashed potatoes, your apple cranberry walnut salad, pumpkin coffee cake. Thanks for joining us today on this edition of Country Cookin'. We hope to see you next time.